Hey guys, welcome back to another one of our webinars, our High Fly Digital webinar, where we're talking all about the post-purchase profit engine of the top 1% and how to help you turn your one-time buyers into lifetime buyers in half the time, every single time. I'm your host, Isaac Hyman, and I'm going to be diving into the secret retention strategies of the top brands. I myself was a former VP of retention at the top 1%, and I'm going to share with you exactly how they do it, exactly what they're doing, and how it's going to help your business get to the next level, create a profitable, predictable, and sustainable revenue streams every single time for every one of your customers. So let's jump right in. To start, let's just connect everything, make sure we're going live everywhere. We have comments here. One thing we did on the last webinar is we missed some of our comments, so we're excited to jump right in and answer any questions you have live and catch them, about them right away. So let's talk about what you're going to learn in the next 45 minutes or so of your time. How the top 1% of e-com brands turn their one-time and sometime buyers into lifetime buyers every time in half the time. Okay, it's not about taking a very long time to win back a customer. You shouldn't have to wait to 60 days or 90 days to win them back. You really should be focusing on getting them right away. And this strategy will teach you exactly how to do that. Number one, the thing you're going to learn is get a retention wake-up call from a VP of retention. And I'm going to share with you from my own experience as a former VP why your current post-purchase thinking is quietly killing your repeat purchases and how to fix the leaks causing your customers to churn and disappear. You get that big, wide-eyed, wake-up call like this cat right here. I'm also going to teach you my billion-dollar funnel to flywheel upgrade. Okay, you see this hourglass on the right, and that's what you want to do. Turn those one-time customers into a community of customers. How to ditch the one-and-done funnel model and replace it with a post-purchase system that consistently turns first-timers into lifetimers. I'm going to share my 4-step post-purchase profit engine, the exact 4-step framework used by the top brands to unlock high-value buyers who come back again and again. That's what you definitely want for your business. And I'm going to give you also my 30, 60, 90-day profit acceleration plan, a step-by-step post-purchase roadmap for the first 90 days that reduces churn, accelerates repeat purchases, and turns new customers into long-term profits. It's not just about the first post-purchase side. You also want to think about the whole quarter, the whole 90-day mark. So I'm going to share with you how to do that on this webinar. And of course, with every great strategy comes great designs. It's not going to sacrifice your design work. These are some of the brands we've worked with and we currently work with, and great designs. They're doing amazing stuff on the design angle. It's not a sacrificing anything in your strategy or your email side or your SMS side. It's just having a great foundation for your strategy. And then the designs and emails and texts come layered on top of it. So nothing will sacrifice anything what you're doing. It just will nest everything you're doing on a better strategy. Here's a great example of a brand I personally work with when I was literally the VP of retention at this brand right here. To give you an example of the outcome that you can expect with this strategy, this brand had an LTV, lifetime value, of about $100 per customer. Very small, extremely small for the brand of their size. They just had a lot of customers. But what happened is after we implemented this post-purchase framework, this profit engine I'm about to share with you, LTV jumped to $1,200 per customer by the time we were done. More purchases, more channels adopted, right? We just focused on not just getting a customer or getting a repeat customer, which I'll explain to you in a second why that's a bad mindset. We focused instead on how do we get them to become more involved in our brand? How are we seen as the first choice for their next need? And that's how we took this brand from $10 million a year to $29 million in just 1 year. That's it. It took us just 1 year to go from gain an extra $19 million just by focusing, as part of our strategy, focusing on their post-purchase profit engine. And obviously, email and SMS is probably the easiest and cheapest way to do that and make that happen. But the results happen across the board. This is a 9-figure electronics retailer we took from, actually, it's not 10 million. We took from $47 million to $73 million in 1 year. The revenue jumped by 54%, and they sent fewer emails too. Fewer messages, fewer annoying campaigns, that's for sure. And their revenue jumped and their orders jumped. It went from 87,000 orders to 224,000 orders. This brand doubled sales in year 1, but doubled it again the next year, in year 2. They went from $1.1 million in email revenue to just about 2 million in email revenue the next year. What caused that? LTV, retention, things like that. This brand went from $46,000 to $187,000 in 90 days, fueled by our email program and just enhancing their post-purchase engine. This brand went from $21,000 to $78,000 in new revenue, super quick, super fast. All that new customers coming in, and they're keeping them long term, turning them into repeat buyers. This one went from $98,000 to $326,000 in 90 days by restructuring how they thought about their products and not just thinking as a customer, as a repeat buyer. Think of them as coming into a community. I'll teach you all about that in a second. And that's why clients are saying email marketers, retention marketers never got the foundation down until you came along. And that's really important because I'm guarantee you, I've always looked at brands. We just had another brand come in this past Monday. I see brands that do not have the foundation at all. And they're nesting everything they're doing on a bad foundation. So this is the post-purchase foundation you need. And if you don't have it, time to tear everything down. We had a level of expertise we simply lacked. This is an 8-figure Amazon brand where they have a huge team in place, but they lack the expertise, right? It's just a bunch of, pencil pushers, people who just send stuff and launch stuff, right? You don't want that. You want someone who understands the high-level strategy and can do the high-level tactics. And then another brand, another 8-figure brand, you took our program to a level I never knew about, right? And this is a high AOV brand where we actually were able to get more purchases at their customers, even though they bought a big high AOV product, right? There's so much more potential with accessories, warranties, repairs, in-store visits. So I'm going to get to that in a second about how to rethink your mindset. This strategy helped generate over $450 million for currently about 160 plus brands we've worked with. You can see we wrote the book on it. We have customer retention playbook. Here's the physical copy of the book right here. Big, thick book. Just got a new version from Amazon. It's fantastic. It has a bunch of case studies, a bunch of extra content in here. And it's already 330 pages. We're adding more to the next iteration soon. And by the end of this webinar, you will be able to generate more money from customers you already paid for, increase repeat purchases and customer lifetime value, shrink wasted time on customer service, really important, not bogging down your customer service time. You'll bring your returns way down. They'll feel they can actually use the product and feel they're part of a community. Reduce your churn and wasted ad spend, build a predictable repeat purchase engine for your business. That's what's going to happen by the end of this webinar. So stick around. It's going to be a really important one. This is probably the biggest one that you should focus on because 80% of your buyers are one and done. If you're not getting them to repeat, you're dead in the water. There's no profits left. So who is this post-purchase profit engine course for? So number one, it's for 7 to 8-figure brands who want profitable customers, not just new people, profitable customers, people who are buying at full price, people who are waiting for your next item to drop and to buy it, right? That's who you want to get. It's for 9 and 10-figure brands who want to crush their churn once and for all. Stop customers churning after 90 days, 180 days. You want to keep them in the fold. It's for brands who want to break free from a funnel mindset, consistently obsessing with ads and gain all these new people that don't repeat. That's a funnel mindset, right? It's not a good mindset at all. It's broken. It's for founders and CEOs who know they're doing something wrong. They're sensing it. Why are we consistently struggling? Why are we seeing more customers stick around for a long time? Our agency has a retention rate of 3+ years for our clients. Why? Because we understand retention, right? We must be great. We're not a churn and burn agency. So we understand that acquiring a customer without retention, you're doing something wrong. This is going to help you put that to an end. It's for CMOs who want to improve retention the right way, not by faking things, not by thinking about a tactic like replenishment or thinking about a tactic like win back. Let's focus on keeping customers in the first place from the very start of that relationship. That's the right way to approach it. So you may be thinking though, right, this will increase my costs, or I can't burn and spam my list anymore, or I don't have time to write and design those post-purchase experiences, or I'm not a Klaviyo ninja. My list isn't big enough. My subscribers don't check emails anymore. Well, I want to tell you that this retention course is exactly for you because I'm going to show you how to solve your churn problems without sending more, without spending more, without designing more, without babysitting non-experts or freelancers, and without killing your list in the process, right? This is all about making your customers happier stick around longer and seeing you as a solution for their next need, no matter when that is. Okay. That's the point of this webinar. Again, the side thing of the webinar is number one, we want to help make you money, right? We want to turn your one-time and sometime buyers into lifetime buyers. We want to increase profitability from new customers instantly. And we want to win repeat purchases faster than any other flow or campaign you could possibly do. Okay. This post-purchase engine will take care of any kind of emails you need for the next 14 to 30 days after someone places an order. And I'm going to teach you how to do it for 60 and 90 days too. So you don't need to waste time and energy on sending mindless campaigns. And it also saves you money because it cuts your customer churn rate in half with one strategy. It will improve your ad spend by making the repeat purchase almost inevitable. And it will shrink your Klaviyo costs on flows like win back and replenishment that are kind of inherent in this post-purchase strategy. Okay, so you're not going to need to turn on all these little flows, these kind of what we call Band-Aid flows, in order to win a customer back. Let's not focus on winning a customer back. Let's focus on keeping them here in the first place. That's what this does. So we'll save you money on that. And again, we've done it for 160 plus e-com brands, 6 figures to 10 figures, dozens of industries, and this is an ESP agnostic strategy. It works in Klaviyo, OmniSend, ListTrack, and Marsis, you name it. It's all about the strategy, and that's what we're about. We're strategy first, tactics all the time. ESP, no problem, right? As long as you have the strategy in place, this can scale with you. So a little bit about me. I'm Isaac Hyman, ex-VP of Retention, speaker, author, agency founder. I literally implement these post-purchase frameworks directly into brands just like you. As you can see, I've spoken on it. I'm a former VP of Retention, generated over 450 million new revenue for brands, sent 4 billion emails, 20 million member email lists, award winner for best email performance, authored the book on it, created the masterclass on it. Featured speaker, you can see right there. We just had e-tail. I wasn't at this one. I wish I was at that one, but featured speaker at e-tail, Blue Core, Post Funnel. I think trying to get to Shop Talk next year. Wasn't able to make it this year. It's too close to the holidays. And I've been on your side of the table, right? I've been on your side of the table as a marketer, as someone who's been on the, not just the agency side, on the client side too. I've worked with agencies out there. I've fired them, hired them, and I've been on your side table. I know exactly what you're going through. In fact, I lost 75% of my buyers until my retention strategy came along, until I was able to craft it from scratch. I lost 3 out of 4 customers just like you, and we're talking the billion-dollar brands. I lost hundreds of thousands of customers, maybe not thousands, but definitely hundreds of customers over a lifetime, over a year, because I didn't have a good retention strategy. I was listening to non-experts too, just like you. I burned my customer list. My email bill drastically increased by $100,000 a year. Watched every YouTube course out there, hired and fired agencies who just wanted to make everything about email and sending stuff and burning the list. I wasted money on them until I solved retention myself. And now again, we help hundreds of brands. Our mission, and that's why we're so good at retention, because our mission is not about sending the next email or sending the next text. Our mission is to help brands like you build better customer relationships. And if you want to know that that's the future, Klaviyo joined our movement, started saying, you know what, that is the future. Building better customer relationships is what we do. And now you see it in their tool. They're adding in customer service and landing pages, things that help with the relationship that you have with your list, right? And that's really the future of anything regarding retention. You can't have great retention unless you are an expert in relationships, period. Right? So all these agencies out there who are just sending texts and emails, they're burning their relationship, right? They're not focused on relationship first marketing. So even Klaviyo joined the movement, and that's why we're trusted by over 160 plus retailers and brands out there, from 7-figure to 10-figure brands that you know and love. This slide needs to be updated. We have a lot more on there. Let me talk a little bit about my background though, right? Again, I treated our customers probably way worse than you are now. When you're at the billion-dollar brands, you tend to send about 7, 8, 10 email campaigns a week. It's nuts. But they're only doing that because they don't realize that there's opportunity to harmonize the journey and make sure that their post-purchase experience is really optimized. That's when I come in and say, this is broken. And it happened with me. I was sending tons of campaigns, and when someone bought an item, it was great, but I was just throwing them into the same campaign cadence we had before. And that just wasn't respectful. It's just not honorable, right? They just bought something. Let them use the product. So you can see all these faces of annoyed customers. That's pretty much how it was. And you're probably doing the same thing right now. I tortured customers with email blasts. I didn't connect with customer service to let them know that this person just bought an item and they need to be nurtured. I was overselling them with our campaigns after they just bought something. It's not a good experience to have that. Imagine you just bought a product and then you have the salesperson say before you even walk out the door, hey, you know what, we're having a sale on something else. Why don't you come back and buy from us? That's not a good experience. Why don't you let them unwrap their product? Use it. See the value. But I kept overselling. And that's where I would say 95% of brands are doing this right now. They aren't perfecting the post-purchase experience because they're constantly trying to sell someone again instead of helping them. That's where it became a big problem. And the epiphany happened when I realized we need to stop selling customers and start helping instead. And when I did that, right, that's when I was director of retention at the 9 and 10 figure brands, I stopped selling customers, started helping instead. That's what got me to VP level. I sent 15% fewer emails, saved my brand money. I reduced customer service inquiries, which gave them more time. I earned more reviews, which meant better advocacy from our customers. They were happier in how they're being treated. I increased LTV by 600%, higher stickiness, right? They kept with our brand much longer. I dropped churn by 50%, so I was no more chasing the next sale. I already kind of could rely on my list, and I created a profitable channel, and that was the flywheel effect, right? I have profits, now I can invest in ads. I can invest in finding more customers just like them. That's the epiphany. And if I was to summarize this epiphany in one line, I always say to every brand we work with, customers will always leave a brand. They'll always leave a product. They'll always leave a person, but they never leave communities. Okay, they have a relationship with the community. They feel that they're part of a community. And if your brand is not positioning yourself as a community, a place for them to, learn and engage and be recognized as a valuable part, they're ditching you. So my goal for you is to kind of have this post-purchase mindset be all about bringing them into the community so they never leave. And that's why the hourglass is so important, right? If you see it, an hourglass, right? The sand drops to the bottom and it collects. It collects in a community of little, sand, right? And that's the kind of mindset you want to have. You don't want to have a funnel where they drop out, you bought, goodbye. Now you're bringing them into the community and it accumulates. And that's the power of it. So customers leave brands all the time, but they rarely and never leave communities. And like I said, what happens is for this brand, again, this is the 9-figure brand, from $47 million to $73 million in just 8 months with that shift in mindset. You were mailing less, mailing smarter, not annoying customers, and we made a lot more money from our existing customers. Again, why we're trusted by 160 plus retailers and brands out there. So let's get right into it, right? Why is solving retention critical now, right? Why are you losing sleep over this? Obviously, we know retention is really critical. So why are you losing sleep over this specific problem? Well, number one, go through this quickly because I say this on a lot of different webinars, but it's so important to remember. Brands are stuck in an unprofitable acquisition hamster wheel in 2025. Customer acquisition costs have shot up by about 80%. It costs a lot more to acquire a customer. And 3 out of 4 of those customers remain one and done. This is Bluecore's graphic. Yet if they made one more purchase, their likelihood of multiple purchases increases by 600%, right? 3 out of 4 customers, one and done. Just getting them to buy one more time increases their LTV. But those one and done buyers, right? If they're just buying once, they're unprofitable. You stack the deck with free shipping, advertising, discounts, free returns, rewards, and you have very little profit on your sale. Are you profitable? Yeah, you're a little profitable, but you're way more profitable if you get them to buy again. Pareto principle, 80% of the revenues come from 20% of your customers, right? So loyal customers buy majority of your revenue. Right there, right? That's the Pareto principle, not even mine. One and done customers aren't really worth much of anything, right? They're just a lot of people that aren't doing anything. Honestly, I would say 80% of revenues come from 5% of your customers. That's generally more in line with the truth because I've done this at the top brands. They have 5% of their customers are the only ones who are loyal. The rest they're trying to chase and get them to become new buyers, but they never stick around. That's a problem. So the bigger problem is, what if those 5% loyal customers churn and bail on you? That is exactly what's keeping brands up at night. You have a loyal customer base, but you're probably not doing anything with them, right? And you're risking burning them down by your campaign strategy, your email strategy, your SMS texting strategy. It's just annoying, right? You're probably not cultivating them enough. And the answer isn't 4 campaigns a week. Trust me. The answer is by organizing and harmonizing your post-purchase strategy so they never leave in the first place. Here's a 9-figure case study with huge retention potential. This 8-figure retailer, millions of customers, 40% of their customers were buyers. 1.1 million of those were one and done. That's 64% one and done. Only 16% became repeat buyers. 7% of that list became 3-time buyers, and 4% became 4-time buyers. Okay. So, number one, that gap from 1 to 2 is so vast. If they could close that gap, they will make millions. And on top of that, if they can close the gap from 1 to 2, the jump from 2-time to 3-time buyers is much easier, 16% to 7%. So that one-time purchase gap is so critical to retention. And worse, if they're not getting one-time buyers into 2-time, 3-time, or even 4-time buyers, what if those 4-time buyers don't buy as much, or they just leave? You're back to unprofitable, maybe even bankrupt. So you got to fix your post-purchase strategy now so you don't have that problem. And as you'll see in the graph, the churn issues are happening now, and you won't realize it until maybe August or September this year, which is Black Friday time. You don't want that. A leaky bucket loses customers and profits. You can see right here, everyone getting these new customers. They're dropping out of the bottom of the funnel. It loses the customer, loses the potential of profits. And you won't know about it until it's too late. That's the graph I was talking about. Harvard Business Review says by the time you see an increase in your churn rate, it's 6 or 8 months after the point in time when you actually failed the customer. When they actually churn, you failed the customer 6 months ago. And they finally said, not for me anymore. That's a problem. Because again, you won't realize it until it's too late. We're doing this webinar, like I said, in March. You won't see about it. You won't know about it until September, October. And you need them to win the holidays. So they're churning now until you fix it. There's also macro environments that hurt the business in general, right? Wayfair struggle with differentiating themselves, making repeat purchases more difficult. It's hard for Wayfair to have a loyal customer base when everyone's perfectly happy buying from a competitor. You have tons of competitors out there. If you're not differentiating your experience, they're jumping to a competitor. Simple. It's so easy now, right? You go on Amazon, you find 10 different competitors for your product. It's so easy. What are you doing to stand out? Of course, if you're over-leveraged, overextended, and no profits from your repeat customers, that means bankruptcy right there. And again, low consumer confidence also leads to increased churn. These are things out of your control, right? Tariffs, war, inflation, all these are causing ripple effects to your churn. Unless you have this retention locked in, you're at the beck and call, you're at the whims of the macro economy. And you don't want that because you can't control that. So again, you're left with tons of churning unprofitable customers if you're not fixing this retention problem. But if you do, repeat customers are easier to sell to. There's 65% higher chance of converting repeat customers than new prospects, and they're significantly more profitable in the long run. 5% increase in customer retention can increase your profits by 25 to 95%. They're willing to pay full price, right? Because they trust you. They know, like, and trust you. Well, maybe they know you. Unless you fix your post-purchase plan, they may not like you, right? You got to fix it. And repeat customers are worth 6 times as much as a new customer. So investing in them is a smarter investment than trying to chase more people. If you had a budget of $10,000, let's say, in a month for ad spend and also for retention, it's 6 times more better. It's even 6 times more valuable to invest in retention. Majority of that budget in retention, right? Hire the right team to implement that post-purchase plan, the strategy you have. You'll get more money. Instead of chasing a sale coming from a repeat buyer is worth more than sale coming from a new buyer, right? And loyalty programs increase retention even more, right? Consumers like to see that loyalty program. This is from McKinsey. They're more likely to spend on brand, more likely to choose that brand over competitors, and more likely to buy weekly since joining. Small changes in retention lead to big profits in the long run, right? customer lifetime value, repeat purchase rate, AOV, time to second purchase, all vital. I don't want to throw a bunch of buzzwords out at you, right? That's not what we're about. Buzzwords are just fancy things of kind of talking around the issue. I'm going to give you the retention strategy that distills it down to a much more manageable understanding. So bottom line, increasing your repeat customers leads to increased profits, period. That's it, right? You take that one-time buyer to a two-time, all of a sudden now 50% of your customers are repeat customers, not one and done. So let's start by leveling up your retention mindset. And I guarantee you, you'll never think about retention the same way again after this. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to throw buzzwords at you. I'm not going to kind of be some sort of retention bro who's going to throw these fake terms at you that confuse you. And they're being kind of like, jerks about it, right? The terms don't matter. Let's get to the root of the problem, right? Let's get to the retention mindset so you can actually start winning your customers long term. So mindset number one, retention isn't about repeat purchases. Don't let anyone fool you about that. The outcome is that a customer will buy again. It's not about replenishment. It's not about win back. It's not about churn. Retention is about something way different and way more important than just getting them to buy again. Retention is about positioning yourself as the brand the customer remembers first when the need returns. The repeat sale and the money will all follow. Really important to remember that mindset. If you're not looked at as a brand who is valuable to them, has solved their need, has educated them on the need, has taken them to another level and said, yeah, it goes way beyond the need, and I probably have more needs as a derivative of my original need, then you're done. They're not going to stick around with you, right? So you got to shift the mindset. The repeat purchase and the money and the LTV all follows from that. So shift the mindset. Retention means meet your customer where they're at today, right? So a great example is, let's stop thinking about, retention as a replenishment email, because not everyone is into email. They're always on social. They're on email. They're coming in the store. They're watching your YouTube tutorials, right? They're getting hands-on training. They're joining communities, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups. So your customer is somewhere where you probably are not. And if you're only thinking about retention as a replenishment flow or as a post-purchase thank you, which is a good step, then you're missing where your customer is at. You're only talking on your channel that you want to talk to. That is a problem, right? So refocus your energy on where your customer is today, and that's how retention works. So change that mindset. Retention is about being there and remembered first when the need arises again. Mindset number two, your funnel mindset is directly causing your churn. Understanding that a funnel is all about getting customers, and it's really all about getting one-time customers, right? And the funnel means that they drop off. Once the funnel is done, okay, you're on to the next one. But that funnel mindset is causing the churn because you're not keeping them there, right? Think of it. There's the funnel approach. I'm going to show another graphic that shows the right way to think about it. They're all coming to the bottom and they're falling at the bottom. And once they buy, you're like, amazing, they bought. Good. My product will either work or not work. And then we're done. That's not a good perspective because they could get that product from anywhere. And they'll probably get it from anywhere next time. They'll get it because you're commoditized. You can be a cheap product that no one's going to want anymore. And in this world of commodities, I guarantee you they will find the cheapest item. So there's something bigger than that. You can't just have a funnel approach. It's not going to work. And you're constantly going to be chasing new customers. So the funnel mindset, terrible for retention. Break that mindset today. Connected to that is, like I said before, mindset number three. People leave brands, but they rarely leave communities. So your job is to bring that customer into the community. And the community starts with you. You're the brand. You are the community. You invented whatever the community is, right? They want to have a relationship with the community within your brand. And if you look at it, that funnel you had before, right, should be more of an hourglass, right? That funnel is where they come in and they're not just dropping and being let go. They're dropping into the bottom of that hourglass where all that sand is collecting. All those customers are collected into a community of people, and that's nurturing their value. It's expanding. Everything at the bottom is growing. There's a bigger group of customers that feel connected. That's the power of the hourglass approach, not the funnel approach. Funnel's dead. Funnel doesn't matter. The hourglass is how it works. And this is like a flywheel too, because like an hourglass, you could turn it around and it starts again, right? By turning it around, meaning you're taking those customers, throwing them into ads to get more just like them. So that's the hourglass approach. That's the non-funnel mindset you need to have. So break that mindset shift and remember that customers always leave brands. They always ditch your product, but they'll rarely leave a community. Mindset 4, retention is way more than sending emails and texts. If you think that it's all about sending the next email, you're dead wrong, right? It's not about just one channel. I'm going to give an example of this using the client I showed in the very beginning. Real, billion-dollar brands right here. This is a customer who had a projected lifetime value of 600%, right? They bought 2 times. You see those 2 carts in the bottom left. And you see on the top of this little circle, you see an email. Now, what I did is very simple. I said, you know what? We want to increase lifetime value, and there's more ways to do it than just by a purchase. Because again, retention is about being the first to know when the next need arises, being the first brand top of mind when the next need arises. So what do? We add them to more channels. Now, this customer who had an LTV of 600% started visiting us in store, signed up for SMS, joined our communities, earned rewards, added us on WhatsApp, and we sent letters to them, and their LTV jumped by 2,000% because we added them to more channels, more communities, more places where they can grow as a customer, and grow as a person. And as a result, their LTV increased by 2,000%. That's way better than 600%. And it's not just about email and text, right? It's about the community you're building for them. That's a quick win anyone can do by adding them to more channels, and it hedges against them unsubscribing. I don't care as much if they unsubscribe because now they're in all these other channels. Beautiful, right? So now I have more ways of being top of mind when their next need arises. And you focus too much on emails, right? And I'm a guy who does a lot of emails, right? Don't get me wrong. We're an email marketing agency, but we're relationship first. We're a relationship first agency. You're sending too many campaigns. You're making it all about you. You don't think about customer service as marketing. You try to sell too much, not build relationships, right? That's all your email side, right? Everyone's saying, send an email. Enough. You don't think beyond one sale. You listen to too many apps, tools, and tech, and you're thinking at a 5-figure level. When you're a 5-figure level or a 4-figure level, yeah, you have a list. You want to hit that list. Hit it. But now that's not going to get you to 7 figures. That's not going to get you to 7 to 8. Certainly not 8 to 9. You got to think at a bigger level if you want to grow. Okay. Mindset number 5, retention requires a full court press, not just Klaviyo. Okay. And again, we're experts in Klaviyo. We're a Klaviyo premium platinum partner, whatever it is. Retention requires way more than a full court press. Retention requires a full court press, not just Klaviyo. And here's why. Things as an email marketer are sometimes out of our control. Did you know that 90% of customers say that the shipping experience accounts for at least half of their overall online shipping experience, right? That online shopping experience, there you go. So the shipping is 90% of customers pay attention to that. That's nothing in my control, right? I don't control the shipping. Yet the impact to your retention is so important. So how do we react to it? How do we adapt to it? How are we communicating with the customer when they do that? 93% of customers consider post-purchase experience very important. That's Salesforce. So that post-purchase is so critical in their experience with your brand in the future. 83% of customers think there's vast room for post-purchase improvement, yet only 18% of brands agree. That's a disparity, right? Customers are saying change. Brands are saying no need to change. Thank you. That's not good. That's why you're losing customers. So all these areas are beyond just Klaviyo or beyond just email or beyond just texting. That's a communication form. It's a form of communication. Tell them what the update is on their shipping, what the update is on their delivery. But it goes way beyond just turn on a replenishment flow and your retention will be solved. That's not what it's about. There's so many more variables about retention. So that's your retention shift you need to have. That's the mindset shift you need to have overall, proven by a VP of retention. I did this at the top brands, and this is the shift I needed to make. And it's a very difficult shift, especially if you're obsessing over your emails. So my goals for you are going to turn customers into a community, position your brand as a partner with your customer, build communities that customers never leave, create conversations that fuel relationships, orchestrate marketing and customer service to work together, meet your customer where they're at, and increase personalization and repeat purchases every single time. That's the goal of this mindset shift, turning your customers into a community. So now let's get into the tactics, right? We talked about high-level strategy, high-level mindset. Now we get into a little bit mid strategy right here, right? What do we do for post-purchase? And then we get into the tactics. So let's jump right in. Here's how the top 1% think about post-purchase and how to implement it in seconds. So once again, as I mentioned, the funnel, one-time buyers, the funnel approach is dead. You're never going to get off the ground with just having a bunch of new one-and-done buyers. They're not profitable. They're barely profitable. They're clogging your email list. They're not buying again because you weren't helpful. What you want to do is shift that to a lifetime buyer approach, which is the hourglass, right? The funnel approach is dropping off. Hourglass approach is how you nurture them and build a bigger community from them. And there's 4 key pillars behind it. It's the adoption phase, retention phase, expansion phase, and advocacy phase. I'm going to go into every single phase in a minute. And if you think about it, right, just to make it visually understandable, the funnel, if I'm looking at it from an email or Klaviyo or SMS perspective, all these pre-purchase tactics are at the top of the funnel, right? Your welcome series, your abandons, right? Your site abandon, browse abandon, cart abandon. That's all pre-purchase. Post-purchase, we're talking about adopting the product, using the product, seeing the value of the product, accessorizing the product, and leaving reviews about it, as well as preventing them from churning and also eventually win back. Now, if you do it right, from the bottom of the hourglass and expand out, you'll not have to worry about win back as much. Why are you worrying about win back? Why don't you keep them in the first place? So that's what this hourglass will teach you. Let's dive into the 4 phases and 4 pillars of our post-purchase hourglass strategy. Number 1, adoption. You want to make sure that your customer is able to use the product successfully. Did you deliver on the expectations that the customer expected when they bought this product? That is the first step. They need to unbox it, receive it, make sure that it's all there, make sure that there's no disappointments, and then actually use it. So the adoption phase is the most critical phase for getting a customer to become a repeat buyer. If they can't even use the product, or it's broken, or I'm not going to say it's broken, or if it's just confusing, or they're unsure, or they don't see benefits from it, they'll never come again, period. The second phase is retention. This customer, and this is what I learned, again, from my, when I talk about VP of retention, I've been at a high level, but the best value I got was from my customer service team. And this was my chief customer officer imbued this on me, and it always stuck with me. Retention is about, hey, I can get this product anywhere. Why am I buying from your brand? It's because there's more value that I could realize. Okay. So you need, as a brand, need to start helping your customer unlock that extra incremental value from their brand. Guess what? You've joined a community of like-minded people. Join our Facebook group. You've earned rewards. You've now can join our socials. You're eligible for a warranty. You have different added value that they never either knew about or are surprised about. Surprise and delight, shock and awe. That's all the retention phase. Expansion phase is when you get a customer who says, you know what, we've helped you adopt the product. We have shown extra value from our brand. And now I'm going to also share with you items and products and services that we think will help you maximize your product. Great example, I'm looking at a camera right now, but this camera right now, my Logitech camera, I usually have my Sony a600 all the way in my office over back where I'm setting up a new studio. This Logitech doesn't really work too well unless I have the microphone or I have my lighting. Everything I need to maximize this tool, or StreamYard right here, right? So all of these are part of the expansion phase, that you add on more products that will help them expand on their original purchase. And then finally, advocacy, making sure that my customer finds success and is now willing to share feedback. Do they find the product? Were they able to adopt the product? Were they able to unlock value from my brand? Did I help them expand with more products that we think will be helpful to them? Most likely by then, they've solved their need and they've seen the value of us. And now's the perfect time to ask them for feedback. So these 4 pillars are so critical, and they need to be in order: adoption, retention, expansion, advocacy. Right there. That's the post-purchase framework of the top 1%. Let's bring this strategy to life, though. As you know, in my book, I have a featured case study. I talk all about brown shoes. So anytime you see someone talking about a brown shoes example, that's from me. I've seen a lot of experts in the field reference this brown shoes example. I've also used an iPad example, but to keep it simple, let's keep, brown shoes, right? What I'm going to do is, in order to bring this strategy to life, I'm going to pretend that I bought a new brown Oxford shoe, but you can also create your own case study using your product. If your beauty product, electronics, health and wellness, whatever it may be, use your own product to kind of envision these 4 stages for your brand. So let's get going. Adoption phase, right? You want to help customers adopt the product fast. So the most important thing is to understand, can I use the product immediately? Apple does a great job at that, right? There's a book called Never Lose a Customer Again, and they talk all about Apple, how Apple packs their device and it's charged. When you get an Apple device, it's actually a charged product. You don't have to go find batteries. Remember, you used to find batteries for a Walkman or for some electronics or a toy. You take it up, you unwrap it, all of a sudden, oh, I need batteries. That's annoying. No one wants to do that. So you want to make sure the customer is able to adopt the product fast. And what can you do if something's missing? Like, what do? 23andMe, again from that book, great reference. They pack in 3 23andMe packages in everything. I think 2 or 3. So in case you mess up on your 23andMe tutorial, you always have another one there. So you don't have to wait for it to be mailed yet again. So if something's missing, what do? Help them adopt the product. Is customer service aware of it? Right? Make the marketing to customer service handoff seamless. Own the education process. Unbox some shock and awe with them. And guide them by hand to the next step. And you can use email for this. It's the cheapest way to do it, easiest way to do it. And that's why the emails are really performing really well. So make sure that your customers are adopting the product. And I'm not just saying send 1 email of adoption. It could be 2 touches. It could be 3 touches of email. I want to focus on you getting the adoption phase right. Some great examples here, right? Post-purchase survey. Invite users to share feedback. Let's unbox together what to expect in the box, right? Give an SMS check-in text. Text 12 hours after delivery. Say, how's it going? Anything you need help with? Check out this content. I was working with a camera brand, and it said your first shot, what to do, how to position your first shot, how to take a really high quality first shot with your new camera. That's excellent. That's what's more important. I unboxed a camera once. I had no clue what to do, all these dials and things, and I need to go to YouTube to find out. I shouldn't need to go to YouTube. You should be telling me what to do. Your brand, right? Personal concierge introduction. If you have a high AOV product and need some really, a $5,000 watch or a $10,000 camera, you need someone to guide you through. And a personal concierge is perfect for that. Join a creator community, right? That's a little bit more on the retention side, but join a creator community or even trade in your old gear. You bought a new camera. Guess what? What do you do with your old camera? Trade it in. Right? That's part of the adoption phase. Great examples right here. Coconut right here. Do you have an Instagram account? Here's what you need to know. Quiet Pure Whisper, setting up your air purifier. Harry's, here's how to use it out of the box and shave, whatever it may be. That's all in the adoption phase. And it's not just 1 email. It could be 5 emails. It could be 3 emails. Whatever it takes to get them to adopt it really well, that's mission critical. So key action items here, I would say, identify the top things customers must know post-purchase, create a digital unboxing experience, links, FAQs, onboard customers from the minute they order, and align with customer service on the experience. Thank you, Will. I appreciate the vote of confidence, my boy. Align with customer service on the experience you have right there, right? Making sure that marketing is one thing, customer service is another. If they're not aligned, things are breaking. Right? It's not, again, remember that mindset shift? It's not about your emails. It's about the experience. Meet your customer where they're at. Let's talk now about the retention phase, right? This is how you prove to them that they made the right choice. Customers leave brands. They don't leave communities. Trust me, I know. I have a speaking of my friend Will, I know him from a community I'm in with a bunch of other agency leaders. And I rarely will ever leave that community because I'm part of a community. If I left a coach, sometimes you don't see eye to eye on a coach, right? And that's fine. That happens. So you leave. don't see eye to eye. They're not helping me. It's okay. But I'm part of a community now, and you rarely leave a community. So you want to make sure that you're helping customers get into that community and achieving their goals. Surprise them with more value unique to themselves. Over deliver on education. Build rapport. Don't break it by selling. The worst thing that happens if you send a campaign the next day after they bought something and say like, "Hey, by the way, 50% off this product you're just looking at." What a bad experience. Get customers to commit to the relationship. Create an account, join socials, join our rewards program, and treat them like the VIP they really are. That's the retention phase. Show them more value and why they trusted you in the first place, and it just will click. So again, great examples right here. You see this in your inbox all the time. Starbucks, Sephora. We have a lot of brands doing a lot of rewards. Join our VIP club. Personalized videos and content. You could do that with a cool tool called Maverick. Intro offers to sister brands. We work with one brand, and they have a whole bunch of sister brands like I think it's Williams and Sonoma. Also is owned by Pottery Barn, so you can go to a sister brand. We've done that as well. Reward points. Tell them to come into a store for a free tune-up, right? We do that with bikes. You get a new bike, high AOV purchase, bring it into the store. We'll tune it up for free. That's a great value. Join Facebook groups, invite to virtual events, join communities, Discord communities, you name it, and create an account. At the end of the day, you want to get them to create an account and show buy-in. Sample retention emails right here, midwinter rewards reminder, VIP 360, did that email ourselves, and Starbucks Rewards, again, they're joining a reward program. They're joining a community of like-minded people and a select community, really important. So if I were you, key action items for your retention phase, find 5 brand differentiators that retain customers, right? What are something that you give away or that you invite people to do? We have a private Slack community for some of our brands, and they also offer a free masterclass for our clients. Just take the masterclass. It's yours for free. That's the differentiator. Create a place of community for them. Get customers to add more channels, add more communities, because again, meet the customer where they're at. Browse reviews for post-purchase FAQs that customers are asking. Talk to customer service for what they're being asked right after someone bought it. Really important. Can I get a warranty on this? Do you know how to do this? Do I know how to do that? Right? Create a video around it, a freemium video if you want to unlock some extra potential. Ask ChatGPT or answer the public for even more, and place these retention phase emails and texts in one or multiple follow-ups. You may not be able to answer all these. You may not be able to share all these brand differentiators in one email, so do multiple ones, and that's okay. I'll show you some examples, I think in this one, that will elaborate that there's 4 or 5 emails in the retention phase that help customers adopt. The next phase, expansion phase, okay? And it's important to know that you don't upsell a customer until they actually get the item, right? So the expansion phase is timed after delivery. The first phase is here's what to do when you get it. Here's how to unbox it. Here's how to use it. The next phase of retention, now that you've unboxed and used it, you've unlocked a world of value that you didn't know about, right? Extra value on top of it. Now they've played around with the item. They've tried it on. They've used it in their hair. They used it on their skin, whatever it is that they bought. Now you start thinking of them and say, guess what? Loved it. These will help you maximize your initial investment. And you've earned permission to recommend some things, right? Because you've helped them adopt the product. Maximize their purchase. Don't sell them. Okay. Again, I'm not here to sell someone a camera if they just bought a camera. We're here to accessorize with lenses, lighting, teleprompters, microphone. Expand them. Expand their existing purchase. Most customers only adopt 80% of their product, right? Close that gap. Expand them into new mediums. That's also a way to expand them. Like you showed before, the LTV on a customer who becomes an email subscriber is 600%. If they're an email, SMS, in-store, YouTube subscriber, Instagram follower, their LTV jumps to 2,000%. So add more channels. Don't just think about selling. Remember I told you before, mindset shift about retention. It's not about the repeat purchase. It's about being where customers are at. So always focus on that. Build better relationships. And the cool thing is you can also let your community sell for you. I've been part of many communities. I bought a lot of products. I'm in a lot of groups out there. And you'd be surprised. The community will sell for you. Yeah, I got this camera, but I realized I need to get a better lens for this camera to really look amazing. And guess what? Your community sold for you. You don't even need to do anything just by bringing them into a community. highlight why their peers expand to new products, why this is valuable, and really track what works best with multiple expansion things, right? Great example, if I bought a camera, email number one I send is new products to use. Email number two, join our VIP 360 program for exclusive offers. Email number three is you may also want to get a warranty on the product, right? So there's more touches you can add for the expansion phase than ever before. So great samples again, recommended accessories, cross-sell to supplemental products and brands, upsell to newest versions, warranties, gear protection, trade in your gear for cash, credit cards and financing, really important, credit cards, right? Why do you think you have your credit card, right? You want to get them to buy more, spend more, you have more to spend. You have a $2,000 limit, use it or lose it. Rentals, product rentals are great, try before you buy, and also get them into a store. If they're online, great omni-channel LTV strategy, get them to come into a store, buy online, pick up in store. Visit a store for a free YouTube tutorial on your item. Great example if you're a retailer. Sample examples right here of expansion. Ralph Lauren, complete the look, exactly it. Girl, you're new here, so you may want to dive into these, and also Nonstop Smiles with, you bought these yellow shoes, pair it with these outfits. Really great way for accessories and fashion to do that. Key items here, map out all your expansion options, not just products, right? If you have a warranty, if you have a subscribe and save, if you have a gear trade-in, whatever it may be that you can upsell or expand them on, do it. Personalize everything. Let the algorithm do the heavy lifting on the recommendations. You don't need to manually do it. That's what we have an algorithm for. Focus on the big need, not the sell, right? The big need here is for them to become a better content creator from using the camera, not to sell more product, right? That's the need. The need is I want to become a content creator, do more webinars just like this, right? So you focus on the need, not the sell. That's the expansion phase. The last phase, super easy now, okay, right? We got them to adopt the product. We've shown extra value from our brand that they can't get anywhere else with our retention phase. We've helped expand the use of their existing product with more items, accessories, services. Now we've got them to really, fulfill on the need we promised. The advocacy phase is super easy now. They're going to invite customers to give back. That's all you want to do. Incentivize the review. Make customers feel kind of obligated to your community that you brought them into, right? All these community members, they love what we do. You have an obligation. Give back now, right? Give them credit and appreciation. Don't be shy about it, right? I'm not saying to be like, please. Give them credit, appreciation. They know they need to do it. They know they had a great experience too. Identify the best type of review, video review, Instagram, a review on your PDP page, Google review, you name it. Celebrate together. You achieved the goal together. Send an email. We did it. We hit our goal, and celebrate with them. But most importantly, don't ask too early, right? Know the right time. Obviously, if you've gotten them to convert from the expansion email, that's great. They went from one-time to two-time buyers. Perfect time to ask them for a review. Don't over-ask though. And you have to come up with a plan to hedge against bad reviews too. But if you do this really well, the reviews will come. Most likely you may not get as many people to leave a review, but this advocacy phase works really well as the final push. Some great examples I just talked about: product review, Google review, social review, good visual, right? Post it and use hashtag, be social to show your outfit, your look. Question and answers. I talked about hashtags already. Net Promoter Score survey. How are we doing? How was the shopping experience? Give me a 1 or a 3 if it's bad, 1 if it's good, right? Shopping experience feedback. And also, if you're a high AOV product, maybe do a case study for ads and premium content. That's great for TikTok ads and Facebook ads. Just have the TikToker do a quick video. Amazing. Sample emails here, as we showed you before. Great examples. 5-star styles. Give some, get some. We want to hear from you. Easy emails to put together, but you only do it after they've adopted, retained, and maximized their purchase. Key action items, right? Set the time when you expect the purchase goal to be hit, when they bought the item, and when you expect that their need will be fulfilled, right? And it's not a science, really. You just have to calculate a little bit. Incentivize their advocacy. Map out a plan for good versus bad reviews, and use their feedback to fuel your adoption phase. Whatever the feedback they're giving you, learn from it and say, yeah, I love this product, but maybe they didn't give me enough YouTube content to help me do it. Okay, great. Let's fix that. Put that in the adoption phase. right? So use that as a feedback loop to really maximize your brand. Hourglass in action, right? You see it really clearly. You have your adoption email, your orders arrived, here's what to do next. You have your retention side, you've earned rewards with your purchase, start using them now, and here's how to triple your rewards if you want. Expansion is when you complete the look, right? You've added one item, complete the full look of it, complete the need, maximize the purchase. And finally, advocacy. Now that you've gotten it and you've settled in already, leave a review, give back to the community. That is our hourglass in action. The post-purchase hourglass of the top 1% works all the time. Let's put into action with our brown shoe case study. Again, same thing as we said before, right? You adopt the product, you unbox it. Here's how to care for your shoes. Here's what to do if you don't have a shoehorn. Shoehorn is a great upsell, by the way. Here's how to polish them. Here's how to care for them so they last a long time. Retention phase, style guides. Here's how to style your brown shoes. Join our Facebook group for brown shoe lovers. I don't know, right? You've earned rewards with your brown shoe purchase. Great, come back and apply. Expansion phase. You love those brown shoes? Try the black ones. Same size, same everything. We have it in stock right now. You get it in 2 days. Different color. Or you love brown shoes so much, try our Oxford brown shoes or your Monkstrap brown shoes. That's the expansion side. If you have a suit, try to upsell them a suit. If you need new laces or a shoehorn or whatever that thing that fits inside the shoe, I don't know what that's called. Same thing, right? That's your upsell. And then finally, advocacy. Share your shoe experience. How was it? Show us your look. Show us your outfit. Tag us on Instagram with the outfit. We'll send you over a free coupon code. There you go. Advocacy. That's the hourglass in action for these brown shoes. And you can apply it to your business at any point. So make sure to look at what's relevant for your brand. Sample workflow here. I want to make sure we're a little over time right now, but it's okay. Sample workflow. That's a really important one. That's where we go over time, right? Onboarding. Step number 1, wait a couple days or really a day or two. Unbox value. Wait a couple days, join a community. All depends on your shipping deadlines too. Wait a couple days or a day, educate them. Then rewards after a couple days. Then finally, after they got the product and they're using it, expansion phase. Wait a couple more days, do upsell, cross-sell, right? It doesn't have to just rely on one email. It could be multiple ones or multiple forms of communication. You can mix it with email and SMS. After that, leave a review, right? So that's just a very brief sample workflow. It really depends on your brand and your shipping deadlines and your time, because it's not just about the email side, right? It's about the fulfillment side. It's more than just Klaviyo. So that's just a sample workflow there to kind of get you inspired of how to do it. But that's not it, right? The post-purchase profit engine is huge. But let's talk a little bit, really briefly, about our customer profit accelerator over the first 30, 60, and 90 days. How to bulletproof your entire 90-day post-purchase window with these high-performing LTV strategies. Okay, we tackled the first 14 days, even the first 21 days, even the first 30 days. Let's tackle what happens after that, so you never have to struggle with winning back a customer. So 30 days after, we run for our clients a customer upgrade. We call it CRM upgrade. And the goal for this is to increase repeat purchases quickly. After they ran through the post-purchase hourglass, some of them will buy again, some of them will increase their LTV, and some will just be. So I want to get them from 1 to 2 as soon as possible. So our main focus here is the one-time buyers. But you can also break it down in customer tiers. One-time buyers have a different experience than a two-time buyer, and a two-time may have a different experience than a three-time. You break it up across the tiers that you want to get a customer to move through, right? That's some customer migration. Take it from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, on and on. So you can start with this type of message. Run a VIP week, a customer appreciation week. Show them what it feels like to be a VIP. What is a VIP? Whatever you want a VIP to be. And you can run multiple campaigns around this. We have flows that do 3, 4, 5 touches in a week. To this week is Customer Appreciation Week. You've been entered into it. We want you to feel valued here. And you'd be surprised. A lot of customers who didn't buy after post-purchase start upgrading to the next level and buy again with this VIP week approach. It's an excellent tactic also for replenishment. Get people to buy again. Say, hey, guess what? It's beauty week over at our brands. And now's the time to replenish the items faster than you did before. Faster than you ever will or you plan to do before. Multiply for multiple channels too. You can use SMS, push, paid on top of this. So VIP week, customer appreciation week right here. Great examples of that. That's in the range of 30 days after or so, depending on the window of repeat purchase for your brand. 60 days after, what do you do if they went through post-purchase, they didn't buy from customer upgrade? What next? Well, then you have to start about churn prevention. Remember, prevention is 80% of the cure. Focus on preventing churn, not just winning back. Winning back means they're gone, they're done, they're pissed off, they're angry, they don't like you anymore. They found someone else. Focus on preventing that in the first place, right? Prevention, 80% of the cure. Know your churn rates. When's the drop off? Is it 6 days after their purchase when they start, they haven't bought again in a little while, it's coming a long time? Or is it 45 days? Or is it 20 days? I don't know, whatever your brand uses. I use 60 days because we have a whole plan in the first 30 days, then 60 days, and then 90 days. So I use 60 days for most brands. That's usually pretty good. Run the churn prevention campaign and then turn it into a flow. Great example of this. Whenever you're doing a campaign, the campaigns are meant to be, number one, they're great revenue drivers, but a campaign is also meant to be research. If you send a campaign out and it works really well, you should do everything in your power to replicate that campaign by turning it into a flow. So run churn prevention campaigns throughout the year, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 times a year, and then see what's working, what the offer looks like, what the messaging looks like, what the copy looks like, and turn that into a flow. That's the easiest way. That's where you have campaigns, right? That's our deeper 10-figure strategy I talked about. So turn them into flows and multiply them again for other channels, right? The whole goal for every channel you have is to prevent them from churning. Invest in paid ads to keep them in the fold. SMS, push, store, customer service, whatever you need to invest in to prevent them from churning, it'll mean a lot more profits in the long run. So churn prevention, great example. I have a whole other video on churn prevention and win back and customer upgrade as well in a different video. And then finally, 90 days after, if they are probably at the point where they're churning or did churn, win back is great. The goal is to win customers back, right? Before they bail for good. Now, currently, they did bail, but maybe you still have some pockets of opportunity. Once again, know your churn rates. When's the drop off? Focus on getting them to engage and reactivate. Engage means let's make sure they're not churning from the channel too. They want to send them an email, send them a text, get them back and engaging with you. Again, this is why you don't just rely on getting a customer for an email subscriber. You rely on them being an omni-channel customer. Everywhere they know where to find you. So you're not relying on one channel. Founder-led emails and proven offers work really well here. You see 30% off, 20% off to win back, rarely used, only for the win back offer. And then again, multi-channel multiplier, making sure that you're trying to win them back with an offer or with a message or something that's kind of relevant. This is like the worst possible thing, right? If you have to win a customer back, it's almost like you gotta make an offer. You gotta kind of be salesy, because that's, you don't want to have to win them back in general, but that's why we have the post-purchase plan. Everything else was helpful, educated, community-based, maximizing their potential, value-based. So that really worked. If they're at the win-back phase, okay, you got to give a little bit of an offer. So Isaac, what about replenishment reminders? We talk about that all the time, right? I hear that from brands and agencies. Replenishment, that's everything, right? To be honest, the post-purchase covers it all, right? Customer upgrade gets the laggards, and your churn prevention does the work too. So I don't necessarily need to worry about replenishment reminder because it's already inherent in our post-purchase strategy, right? It's like layering another type of email on top of something that's already there. And subscribe and save, if you're doing it right, it's already automated. So there's not much to worry about replenishment, but some people like to have it, and it's important. And don't get me wrong, very important, especially adding it to your 30, 60, 90-day plan. And the key stages to do here are reminding them, right? Be transparent. Your renewal date is coming up. Be helpful when they renew. Here's what you need to know about your renewal. If you want to cancel, we'll make it easy for you. If you want to change your shipping date, we'll make it easy for you. Reward. Make them feel rewarded by their repeat purchase. Make them feel that they're still in the community and the community wants them to order, right? And by the way, you get double the rewards when you order, wherever it may be. And then reactivate them. Offer to come back, right? If they miss the replenishment window, reactivate. That's already in the customer upgrade. That's in the churn prevention flows I just talked about. Reactivate. Offer to come back and win them back. So that's the replenishment. Not as important as the other three flows because the replenishment is inside them, right? That's the point of it. So let's do one final recap. We're running over time here, but that's good. It's a really rich webinar, I believe. We literally had about, I think it's 139 brands across all channels sign up. So it's a really important topic. Welcome series, site abandon, browse abandon, cart abandon, checkout abandon, purchase. That's all in the pre-purchase phase of the funnel, right? The funnel side, but you want to ditch the funnel mindset. You want to get an hourglass mindset. Post-purchase adoption. Are they adopting the product? Are they getting it? Retention. Are they seeing more value from my brand? Expansion. Have I expanded them into new categories, new collections, new products, new ways to maximize their first purchase? And advocacy. Have I turned them into an advocate? And if none of that works, you still have customer upgrade, churn prevention, and eventually win back right there. That's your post-purchase hourglass side. So why aren't you doing this right now? I'm not sure. No problem, Karen. Anytime. Change your mindset. Oh my God, that's so important. I think everyone should be changing their mindset. They think they know what we're talking about. We're just listening to non-experts, right? At the end of the day. And that's actually what I'm talking about right now. Why aren't you doing this right now? What's holding you back? Well, number one, let's talk about the tools, right? You're using Klaviyo like a Toyota when it's a Ferrari. You're using 10% of Klaviyo's technology. Klaviyo is a powerful technology. Any email platform is a powerful technology. Just a lot of brands use Klaviyo. You're probably using 15% of Shopify too, when it does a lot more than you think. Most brands get into Klaviyo and say, just send emails. So their mindset is always send emails, send text. This is a terrible mindset. Why don't you start building relationships instead? So start using Klaviyo like the Ferrari it's intended to be, right? That's step number one. Problem number two, as Karen just said, right? Some people are listening to 5-figure experts, right? They're glorified designers, they're copywriters who make everything about copy, they're designers who make everything about design, they're Klaviyo techies who just kind of know Klaviyo, or AI email bros who say AI is going to come for everyone. They're thinking at a 5-6 figure level, and never know how to scale, right? I'm thinking at a 10-figure level. We have a team of 10-figure experts. And when you're thinking at that level, you understand the mindset shift you need to have. So that 5-figure mindset is not going to help you get to 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. You got to shift the mindset and work backwards from that, right? High level strategy, high level tactics works all the time. It's not just my idea. That's Simon Sinek, right? Start with why. Love that book. Start with the why you exist, why you matter, and why do you need to excel in post-purchase. Problem number 3, Klaviyo's not helping you on this end, right? You're using basic, boring, or broken post-purchase flows. You're turning on whatever they tell you to turn on. And to be honest, it's making them more money than you in some cases, right? So these are great, they're flows, but they need that upgrade. They need that mindset. They need that shift from not just selling or talking at people to helping people. That's why your customers are churning, because the follow-up is not as great as you think it is. So they're boring, broken. I don't like the word boring, but you get what I'm saying. It's basic. It's not getting to where it needs to be. So that's number 3. And number 4, probably the biggest one. Like I said on the past slide, you don't see churn until it's too late. Your customers are churning. You think everything's good. You're looking at your screenshots in your Klaviyo and say, oh, look, we're doing pretty good. We're up 50% in revenue this month. Amazing. Great. Amazing. The storm's coming, right? 6 months from now, you're going to be like, what just happened? Where'd all my customers go? And I've been there. Okay. I know exactly what it's like. And I'm talking about the billion-dollar brands. We were up 80% in revenue in 1 year because we started doubling the amount of emails we sent, about 10 emails a week. The next year, crashed. Revenue down 40%. Doesn't work. You got to have a different approach. So you got to make sure you're seeing your churn and adapting to it now before it's too late. So that's the recap on the post-purchase hourglass framework. That's the solution, right, for all those problems. It increases customer retention and brand recall. It reduces churn and ghosting customers, stops you from annoying campaigns that kill LTV. I don't know why you're not suppressing anyone who bought in the last 7, 14, or even 30 days from your campaigns. You should be doing that. That's step number 1, right? Let your post-purchase hourglass and your customer upgrade run, right? Stop the annoying campaigns. You'll be able to shrink customer complaints and returns. You can double profits from new customers. And now you have a 30, 60, 90-day plan to keep customers for life, right? That's how the top brands think. And result, convert one-time buyers into lifetime buyers half the time, every single time. That's the plan right there. And again, to make that screenshot visible, before LTV was $100 per person. After this strategy, $1,200 per person right there. More channels adopted for that customer, more purchases. I met the customer where they're at. We're building better customer relationships, and they think of me first whenever they're about to make another purchase to fill a need. This 10-figure retailer, as I said before, went from 10 million to 30 million in 1 year with this plan. And we have other results right here. I won't go through all of them just to save time, but 98,000 to 320,000, 6,001 in 90 days. So let's talk about what to do about it right now. My offer to you today on this webinar, I'm going to give you my post-purchase hourglass plan for a one-time fee. We will do it all for you, done for a one-time fee. I just want you to retain your customers. We're going to drop it in your brand, all for a one-time fee. No monthly retainers, just a project, show you how it works, give you the structure. It's going to be really pivotal for your brand to implement right away. Your investment, we give you our post-purchase hourglass strategy and flow. It's about 7 email touches on average. Custom brand plan, customer avatar, email copywriting, UX-based high-converting email designs, complete flow build and installation. We swipe and deploy a proven flow into your brand and straight from Klaviyo. And we have one in OmniSend too. Unlimited copy and creative revisions. You own it. Total, less than $1,000. It's a throwaway, right? Less than $1,000 just to get this done right here on this webinar. Okay, and 100% money back guarantee. If our flows don't increase your flow revenues by at least 20%, we'll give you 100% of your money back. No questions asked, right? We want to increase the revenue from your existing customers, and this flow, this post-purchase hourglass flow, will help you. We have other flows to build out for this too. So if you don't love the designs or communication or flow setup or copywriting, you'll get 100% of your money back, 100%, right? This is probably one of our best offers. We do this for multiple flows, but we're doing it on this webinar just for our post-purchase flow. Of course, if you want other flows, we could talk about that also. But this one is probably the most critical one for your brand entirely. I swipe and deploy it from our proven brands into yours with custom designs and everything. You can always go to milliondollarflows.com. That's our sub-brand we have just dedicated to flows to see how much incremental revenue these flows will deliver, right? And you're going to find that the post-purchase flow alone probably deliver a 5x return on your investment. So the expected ROI on that is going to be great immediately, but the LTV will also increase. That's a little bit of a longer window to measure, but the expected ROI in revenue just from our post-purchase hourglass flow will be huge. But that's not all we stop. We add in bonuses also. Once we build our post-purchase hourglass flow, we will also build a free pilot campaign done for you after launch. You can see how we build it. We want to test your list, get those customers into our post-purchase hourglass, see how it works, right? A flow that's built isn't as valuable if there's no one coming into it, right? So we want to make sure we're driving traffic into the flow. So we'll build a pilot campaign. We did this for an 8-figure brand. They're making $8,000 from every campaign with clicks under 0.5%, minimal conversion and big discounts. Our first pilot campaign went to 32,000, right? And it was no discounts. It just tripled the clicks and doubled the conversions. So you'll see how that works. We do it for free just to show you how we work. I'll give you access to my email and SMS playbooks vault. We have a ton of content. We're rebuilding our customer retention playbook even deeper after this webinar. And we have all the content you can imagine to make your email, SMS, or retention channels just like the top 1%. I'm also going to give you secret apps and our tech stack that will 2x your retention even more. The secret apps you probably don't even know about. We're talking videos in the email. We're talking dynamic content in your email. We're talking about apps that identify more customers for you. And all that are the secret apps and partners we actually work with that will double your retention even more. And then we'll also give you a direct line to me, right? I'm here to help you in the next 30 days, what you need help with, guide you, give you some ideas, consult with you, all for that same package. So you get direct line of access to me, a VP of retention, to help your churn go way down. If you want to get started, go to highflyerdigital.com/book and you'll see a free audit there that shows exactly why people are saying most agencies do an audit of my post-purchase flow and it's cosmetic and it's subjective. This design is boring and the CTA should be above the fold. Boring. That's so basic, right? That's not going to it's not going to keep your customers long-term, right? You want to have this strategy in place, right? And that's why they start right away. These are 8-figure brands that start right away and say, you know what, you're at a different level. And that's why we came on board with you. Hands down, the best email SMS retention agency we've ever had. That's Craig right there. Again, It's not a mediocre plan. It's not a surface and cosmetic thing. You had a level of expertise we simply lacked. You saw that on the other testimonial I shared before. Email is now our fastest growing revenue stream to our store. You took our email program to a level never knew about. You saw these before. And we doubled sales year one, but doubling them again this year is mind-blowing, right? Consistently seeing revenue every single year. And you've outpaced our growth from every channel, even Amazon. That's a tough one because Amazon's where everyone looks first. That's why we're trusted by over 150 plus retailers and brands, 160 plus right now as we started Q2, as we're about to start Q2 in 2026. And it's the best way to start. Simple price, zero risk, $9.97, post-purchase hourglass, built for you, swipe and deploy into your brand, pretty much within 14 days, all done. Custom brand plan, UX-based high-convert email designs, complete flow build installation into your ESP, unlimited copy and creative revisions, plus those 4 exclusive bonuses I talked to you about, access to me, a VP of retention, access to my team to get things done for you, and 100% money back guarantee if it doesn't work for your brand. That's it. Get started. highflyerdigital.com/book. That's where you want to go right now. If you don't have a plan, if you're seeing repeat sales dropping 76% down, if you're not getting customers to become repeat buyers, if you're not turning them from one-time to lifetime buyers, this is the plan for you. By day 30 with my playbook, I've seen brands 400% the repeat sales, their email revenues grow, their SMS revenues grow, their customer complaints shrink, their returns shrink, profits stay. And now we're at the end of Q1. Now, if you do this now, this will set you up really well in Q2, and you'll be ready for Q3 and Q4 all on autopilot. So this is the plan you need. Post-purchase profit engine playbook of the top 1%, swipe and deployed in there for you. I hope this is going to be a great benefit for your brand. Thank you for joining my webinar. Super excited to share our next webinar topic shortly. And if you got value out of this, subscribe to our channel. Keep the feedback loop going. What else do you want to hear about? Really appreciate all the comments we had on these webinars. And I will see you on the next webinar. Have a great one.